Hello landlords, it's Ernie, I'm back, and today I'm going to explain to you how you can collect more money if you do the following things. Let's get started. The goal of this channel is to produce content that helps you protect your most valuable assets. If you enjoy the content you see here, please do not hesitate to give us a like. And if you have not yet subscribed, please consider subscribing. Today we're talking all about rent collection and how you can get more money from your rentals. Are you having any issues with this particular subject? Comment below with any questions you have about the ideas that I share with you today. I want to know what you feel about this particular topic and what's worked for you in the past. As I mentioned before, I'm going to give you 4 tips, things that you can do right now to collect more money. If you do these things, your rent property will be more profitable. Number 1, and this should just be a given, but I don't know how many times I see landlords who fail to do this one. Pretty easy. Enforce your late fees. So many landlords simply waive late fees because they think somehow this is something mean. And they'll tell me this. Well, I didn't want to be mean to my tenants. But here's the thing. This is something they owe you. Rent is not them being nice to you, and you collecting rent on the due date is not you being nice to them. This isn't a matter of being nice or mean, and enforcing the late fee provision in your contract has nothing to do with how mean or nice you are as a landlord. It has everything to do with whether or not you take your own agreement seriously. If your tenant is 15 days late and has kicked in to owe the maximum amount that is owed on your particular lease, but you waive it month after month after month, I don't know that you really have the right to complain that they constantly pay late. If you enforce the late fee provision every single time, chances are pretty high they're going to stop paying you late. One way to collect more money in rent from your tenant is to enforce those late fees. Start doing now. You'll see that it's going to make a world of difference in the future. Maybe you won't collect as many late fees, but you will collect rent on time more often if you enforce the late fees every single month that they are due. Number 2, don't be afraid of delivering a notice to vacate for a single violation of the lease, particularly when it comes to the payment of rent. I don't know why so often landlords will wait for multiple months of non-payment before they deliver a notice to vacate. What they tell me is the same virtually every time. They'll say, well, they stopped paying 4 months ago, and I talked to them and they told me, well, I'm going to pay eventually. Or they gave a specific date and said, give me 10 days and I promise I'll pay. The moment you know the rent is late, you should be handing a notice to vacate. Now, you may not actually file an eviction, but that notice to vacate is a powerful tool that you can use to motivate your tenants to get their rent paid. Here's another very specific truth. If you're having to deliver more than one notice to vacate during a given term, it's very likely that that tenant simply isn't a good fit for this lease. It doesn't appear that they can afford to pay the rent that is required for this particular leasehold, or they're just not good enough at paying their rent on time, and so you might just have to get rid of them. And one of these times when you send a notice to vacate, you may as well just file the eviction and move on from a tenant who consistently pays late. But if you're not serving a notice to vacate and seriously enforcing the rent payment provisions in your lease, you are missing out on an opportunity, number 1, to have a tenant who pays you correctly every single month, and number 2, to get rid of tenants who don't. Your standards have to be that the tenant will pay rent on time every time, and when they don't, you're going to enforce the lease as it is written. So send that notice to vacate upon the very first instance of a breach for non-payment. And I assure you, you're going to see the tenant react in a way that either A is, well, I'm not going to pay now that you've given me this notice, and they leave, or they never do it again. you're going to see that if you enforce your rules, you're going to create an environment where the expectation is rent must be paid on time. This next one tends to catch landlords completely by surprise. You may have in your lease an application of funds clause. Many landlords do, and they have no idea what this means. The application of funds clause states, generally speaking, if it's in your lease, that the landlord can apply funds that are paid to the landlord in any way the landlord sees fit. This means that if, for example, a tenant submits a payment for a current month's rent, and in the memo line of their check they write, "for rent only," none of that matters. If they're 15 days late with their rent payment and owe a maximum amount of late fees, your application of funds clause says you can apply that to late fees first. Let me give you an example. Let's say a tenant's rent is $1,000 and their max late fee is 12%. That's $120. And let's say they pay 15 days late and have maxed out their late fee, an initial payment and certain number or a certain amount per day until they hit $120. But they only send a check 15 days late for $1,000. You have every right to deduct that first $120 in late fees and let your tenant know by virtue of your notice to vacate that they still owe you an additional $120 in unpaid rent. That's right. You can apply the first $120 to late fees and let them know you paid your late fees, thanks, but you still owe $120 in unpaid rent. You've technically only contributed $880 of your $1,000 rental amount. And so that amount is still unpaid. And because of that, I'm handing you a notice to vacate in 3 days unless that amount is finally cured. Again, this exercise of the provisions of your lease will ensure that the next month the tenant is much less likely to do the same thing. If, however, the tenant is unable to pay rent on time the following month, my suggestion is that you actually move forward with eviction at that point. If your tenant is 2 months behind in any given term, that's a terrible sign. It's unlikely that they'll be able to catch up. Now they might, and during the eviction process, they might get fully caught up and you and that tenant might make arrangements, and there might have been some extenuating circumstances that make all this workable. But for the most part, if your tenant defaults twice in the same term, that's usually a sign they're not an appropriate tenant for you. So when you enforce the application of funds clause, you put yourself in the best position to collect the maximum amount that is owed on your lease, and you protect yourself from future defaults by submitting the notice to vacate and enforcing the full amount of what is owed to you when it is owed to you. Finally, you will find that you're going to collect more rent from your tenants if you simply talk to them before you hand over the keys. We're going all the way back to the time of the application for the rental before the tenant ever enters the premises. At this time, I always tell landlords, this is the happiest time between the landlord and the tenant. They're excited about moving into their new home. You're excited about having a new tenant. Money is being exchanged and everybody's smiling. At this time, you have a conversation with your tenant and you let them know, I'm certain this is never going to happen, but in the event that you happen to pay rent late, I routinely send out a notice to vacate. Now, I'm sure that's not going to happen here, but don't be surprised if you get this. Additionally, if you submit a late payment, I'm going to apply the first part of that payment toward late fees. So if ever you submit a late payment and I accept it, make sure that it encapsulates the full amount owed. If at that time you owe some late fees, make sure you submit them with your payment, because right off the top, the first portion is going toward late fees. If your tenant knows about this before an incident of late payment ever happens, they are more likely to pay the late fees when they are due, and they are more likely to avoid late payment at all because they know that the consequence will be a notice to vacate. By enforcing this in anticipation, and having a conversation of your intent to enforce it, you are going to prevent incidences from happening more often than not. Have the sit down, have the conversation during the happiest time between you and your tenant, and you will find fewer incidences of non-payment and fewer incidences of late payment. All of this should result in more money in your pocket and should result in a better landlord-tenant relationship between you and all of your tenants. Landlords, I hope this has been a helpful and informative video for you. As always, I will continue to bring more content to you. Hit that like button if you enjoyed today's video. Let me know in the comments below what you thought about it or what experiences you have had with late payment or non-payment from tenants in the past. What did you do to remedy this situation? Did you anticipate late payment or non-payment and have a sit down with your tenants? If so, how has that worked? I hope you've enjoyed this video. I've enjoyed sharing this information with you. Give us a like if in fact you did enjoy it. If you're interested in watching more content, and I hope that you are, there's a video right here that YouTube seems to think that you will enjoy. If you're interested in subscribing and haven't yet subscribed, there's a picture of my face right here. Click there and you can subscribe. I will deliver more content to you in the future, but until next time, happy leasing.